A new truth reveals. Clew and Jolene stepped from the space elevator into the top floor of the Citadel. Stepping from the descender onto solid ground with Jolene reminded him of the first time he set foot on Rodinia 20 years ago. Nothing in the blue metallic walls had changed. They still had that cold, empty feeling, as if the builder once had great plans for this building, but gave it up as a waste of time. Seeing these halls again brought back only a stark, somber emotion. Everything had gone wrong. It feels so hollow, Clew said. Yeah, I know, Jolene said, peering up through a sky window, perhaps in an attempt to see the climber lifting Travis from the atmosphere. Let's get to work. You have a speech to make. We might be able to do everything before Travis realizes he's been duped. Clew said nothing, wandering behind Jolene in the hall with lazy steps. He glanced into Travis's office on his way past and paused in surprise. Iris? Clew stumbled over his feet. She was sitting on Travis's desk, back to him and facing the thunderous landscape of Rodinia. Iris turned as Jolene pulled up on Clew's side. Jolene? Clew? Iris said in growing surprise. You're not supposed to be here. Her posture had grown tense and vulnerable. She reached out for a phone on Travis's desk. Don't even think about it, Jolene said, withdrawing a gun and leveling it at Iris. You've already lost this fight. Iris met Jolene's gaze for a hard minute, and Clew wondered if something would happen between them. But then, the massive lift doors to the ground floor opened. Out walked 20 transients, not corporate workers. Clew could tell because they were in their working clothes. They had laid siege to the Citadel. The 20 transients walked forward to frame Jolene in the door, all facing Iris. See? Jolene asked in savage triumph. The building is mine. Iris slumped. How cowardly of you, coming here when you know no one will contest you. Why are you here? Clew demanded of her. She was one of his anointed ones, not some employee of Murphy. I came to see Travis off, Iris said, slipping off the desk and walking towards Clew. He and I have been close for many years. Gross, Jolene said. Definitely don't want to hear any more details about that, but also, you damn well better have milked his sorry ass for all it was worth. Iris smiled. Being with him had its perks, as I'm sure you know. Jolene turned to Clew with raised eyebrows. Little Miss Pious Bitch has a dark side. She turned back to Iris. Travis is out. I'm in. Don't expect the same perks. You definitely aren't my type. She about-faced and walked out of the office, winking at Clew on her way out. Passing between the observing transients, she motioned with a lazy hand. Make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Oh, like call Travis on my lenses? Iris called after Jolene. Jolene froze. Her eyes widened. She turned and narrowed in on Iris. Transients don't have AR lenses. I had a life before all this, if you recall, Iris said. Jolene paced around Iris in a rage. You called Travis then? What does he know? Iris glared hatred up at Jolene. He heard our conversation. He knows you planned a coup. Jolene shook her head, working lips unable to contain her rage. That is very disappointing. A moment passed. She seemed to grapple over the appropriate response. Finally, she took out her gun. I can't have you sneaking around being an unsung hero. She fired the gun. Iris dropped backwards to the ground. Clean this up. Jolene glared down at the body. We should expect a call from Travis any moment now. 4 of the transients rushed into the office to take care of Iris. Clew felt nothing at her death. It was a cheap and meaningless thing, death. Something once so permanent and dreadful. Now just a frustrating mess and a bit of extra paperwork. Clew followed Jolene from the room, trying to catch up with her in the hall. She did not slow her pace for him. He leaned in as they walked so as not to be overheard. "You're in? Please tell me I've misunderstood." Jolene stopped, frustration emanating from her. "I told you, we're setting up a new government. Someone's got to take control here." She stared at him as if daring him to contradict her. When he did not, she turned, face transforming. "Oh, Luna, you're here. Good. Clew here needs a new outfit, and his anointed ones are predisposed at the moment. Can you take care of that? He's making another speech soon." "Sure thing," Luna said, voice somehow deeper and more certain than Clew was used to. "Here's your bag." She offered a backpack to Jolene. "Thank you." Jolene accepted the bag and slung it over her back. She once again began to walk. "What's that?" Clew asked. "Insurance," was Jolene's only response. Clew gave a confused glance at Luna before jogging to catch up with Jolene. She was headed back to the space elevator, backpack in hand. "Jolene, I'm just now learning about this plan. I'm not comfortable speaking on this without considering all possible outcomes." "It's fine. It's no different from our plan for the long term. You just have to declare the hereafter before the transients." Jolene did not stop walking. "I think you've missed my point," Clew said, grabbing her arm. She slapped his hand away, glaring before giving a shaky breath. "Travis manipulated us for years to keep this project going. He gaslighted me to keep me in line, and when I pushed back, he moved on to Iris. But Travis is irrelevant. He's done. I have a lifetime of complicity to make up for, and I will set things right. All that matters is Rodinia's freedom from Murphy. You can fall in line or get out of my way." Clew opened his mouth. A faint ringing came from the backpack Luna had given Jolene. "Ah, shit." A look of dread fell over Jolene's face. "Hold that thought. Travis is calling. This could be good or bad." She dug a clipboard out of the bag and unfolded it to full size. She shooed Clew away from her like a mere inconvenience, and not someone with whom she was about to come to blows. She answered the call, face splitting into a too deliberate smile. "Travis, darling, what a surprise. How can I help you?" Travis's voice sounded through the speakers before Jolene even had a chance to finish. "Jolene, you backstabbing bastard. You better get a ship up here ASAP to rescue me from this situation." "Oh, perfect." Jolene's smile contradicted Travis's words. "I was hoping you'd say something along those lines. You've probably realized by now that your ship to Baltica is malfunctioning." Yeah," Travis said. Clew was just able to see his angry, animated head at an angle on the clipboard. "And it set course for the sun. You locked me out of the controls." Jolene whined, screwing up her face in a mock apology. "I just thought it was a nice touch. You know, since it was a choice between death by eventual suffocation or by extreme heat." "I see," Travis said, actually trying to sound reasonable. "You made your point. Let's de-escalate the situation. Restore balance. We're almost done with this project. Let's just finish." Jolene shook her head, beginning to pace away from Clew and Luna, who had also caught up with them. "Travis, I hold all the pieces. You've been outdone." "I seriously doubt that," the clipboard said. "But go ahead. Play your move." Jolene smirked. She turned and grabbed Clew by the scruff and pulled him close. She then angled the clipboard to include Clew in the video feed. "I got this guy, bitch." Clew very much did not want to get between them in their fight, but it was too late. There were too many moving parts at the moment, and Clew did not know what to do yet. Travis leaned into the screen in amused disbelief. "Ah, a very interesting turn of events, no doubt. I admit to having no knowledge of his revival. Very well done. But Clew is my man." "What makes you say that?" Clew said in reflex. "We have a new job for you," Travis said, tipping his hand towards Clew. "Your doctrine has been so successful here on Rodinia that we want you to expand it to all of Murphy. Help all our employees achieve a more enlightened state by helping them understand the fleeting nature of this transitionary life. Their problems are temporary and ultimately meaningless." Clew shook his head. He had fallen for this once, 20 years ago. He had harbored such ambitions back then. This planet had reduced him to a shadow of his former self. He would reclaim that old self. "You want me to make passive drones of your employees by compelling them to ignore your coercive and degrading system of employment. I won't. Not anymore." Travis gave Clew a sad look through the clipboard screen. "I guess you've become too smart for my own good." Before Clew could understand, Jolene pushed him out of the way. He stumbled over his feet before righting himself. Jolene held the clipboard up to just herself. "Not sure I'd go that far, but he at least sees through your bullshit." "You truly believe you will win this conflict," Travis said, amusement evident in his voice. "Do you expect Murphy will just surrender this planet to you?" Jolene's face suppressed a snarl. "Murphy has proved at every point that they don't care about this planet. I've seen your budget. You pulled off a miracle getting this far in the project. But come on! You were never equipped to handle a revolt." "The situation has changed," Travis said. "I succeeded where everyone else has failed. My progress has convinced Murphy to take the Dyson Sphere project more seriously." Jolene's face before the camera gave no response, but her left toe tapped against the ground in a nervous fidget. "And that means what?" "They're giving me the army you noticed was missing from this planet," Travis said in casual indifference. "I thought you were shopping for a new religious leader," Jolene said, fear rising beneath the surface. She wasn't in control, not like she had thought. "Murphy decided, at my suggestion, that the religious control gambit would only work once," Travis said in an academic voice. "They're prepared to secure their hold to see this project through." Jolene smirked as if Travis's plan was inept. "You're about to die if you didn't notice the sun approaching your ship. Your hold is pretty tenuous." Clew caught a momentary glimpse of Travis shrugging as Jolene paced with the clipboard in hand. "Infantry will be there in a month. Yes, I will die, but I will return in a few months. Ultimately, your coup did nothing but give me what I always wanted." "God damn you, Travis," Jolene said, shaking her head and puffing out her lips in unrestrained rage. "Do not underestimate me." "Underestimate you?" Travis's voice yelled. "I made you, girl. I know you with perfect intimacy, your flaws and weaknesses." "Shut up!" Jolene shook her clipboard. "You don't have the strength to hold that planet," Travis said, voice betraying his sense of growing victory. "You think you can run your own government? Maybe even set up a militia and hold your own against Murphy?" Jolene gave an outraged smile. "You misunderstand the situation." She dropped the backpack Luna had given her to the ground. With her free hand, she reached down into the bag and pulled out a small package that could be nothing other than an explosive. She held it up so the camera could see. "I have no intention of leaving this planet accessible to you." Clew's stomach sank. He thought he knew where this was going. "What are you doing?" Travis asked, losing that perfect control he had maintained the whole conversation. "Luna?" Jolene said, motioning the woman to her. Luna approached and Jolene handed her the clipboard. "Keep the camera on me," Jolene said. "Make sure he sees this. Oh, and hit record. I want to watch his reaction afterward." Luna nodded, tapping a button on the clipboard screen. She gave Jolene a grim thumbs up. Jolene began to walk through the dark blue metallic hall, once again towards the space elevator, explosive dangling carelessly from her right hand. "Jolene, get back here!" Travis yelled. Clew stood frozen to the spot. This was not the right move. Of that much, Clew had no doubt. But neither could he act. Not yet, at least. Jolene had killed Iris for an affiliation with Travis. Clew had no doubt Jolene would kill him too if he became a nuisance. Jolene arrived at the space elevator's base, where it connected to the top of the Citadel. The door of the climber automatically opened to permit her. She paused, pressing a button on the explosive she had brought for this exact purpose. Done, Jolene tossed the explosive into the climber as the mechanical doors closed. The climber departed up the tether, taking the explosive with it. Within an hour, the climber would leave the atmosphere and dock with the space station. But that was not the plan, apparently. A moment later, an explosion ripped across Clew's vision, dominating the skyward-facing windows. The climber was ripped to pieces, not 10 meters over the Citadel. At least Jolene had calculated her move to avoid causing an air leak in the hall, or some other catastrophe in the building, but he still felt sick at the event. The explosion cleared, and Clew gasped. The elevator's tether had broken where the climber blew up. There it hung, suspended in midair and extending forever upwards into the sky with nothing connecting it to the ground. It hovered, slowly drifting upwards in the wind, a serpentine chain of interlinking parts. It began to drag in the atmosphere, hanging high in the thick air and bowing up. Side to side, it whipped under its new freedom. Finally, the stress of freedom caused the tether to break off in several pieces. Smaller lengths floated to the ground. Others seemed ready to land like a rope across a continent. 20 years ago, Jolene had told Clew that the tether was long enough to wrap around the equator several times. And while disconnecting the tether at the base did seem to help mitigate that danger, what pieces did land in the atmosphere would still cause unprecedented damage across Rodinia. Even now, it was crashing to the ground, moving away from them thanks to Rodinia's rotation, but showing no signs of stopping. Clew approached the windows overlooking the yellow Rodinian horizon. A trail of decimated buildings stretched out from the Citadel. It seemed as if every building along the equator would fall prey to the remains of Travis's empire. The entire charade took place over 10 minutes. Luna had muted Travis's screaming on the clipboard. Jolene watched the fruit of her labors with a deep satisfaction before turning, finally, back to Travis. Luna unmuted the clipboard. "What have you done, you stupid girl?" Travis raged. "I can see the damage of your actions from space." Jolene, proud of herself, leaned into the clipboard. "Your death would be meaningless if you return next year in force. You could land 10,000 troops in a month with that elevator. Without it, you'll now have to build landing shuttles to mount any meaningful offensive campaign against us. I just guaranteed you can't touch us for 10 years. Clew drew close enough to see Travis on the small clipboard screen. The man was in tears in a cramped ship. Through the window of his ship, the sun was rotating into view. Travis glanced behind himself, frightened of the fate Jolene had chosen for him. "I am going to kill you, Jolene. I promise it," Your final death will be with your neck between my hands." "Super great idea," Jolene said in that same bored voice she so often used with Clew. "I look forward to working with you in the future. Anyway, I have another meeting after this, so we'll have to table that until you have something a little more concrete. But enjoy the sun. I hear it's lovely this time of year. Bye now." She waved and smiled. Luna closed the clipboard. That went better than expected. The other transients were already busying themselves throughout the hall to set up Jolene's new government. Clew took a helpless step towards Jolene. "Did you plan for it to go this far? You've destroyed so much in just an hour." Jolene returned a solemn look, as if she hadn't really expected Clew to understand, but still hoped he would. "I only destroyed what you and Travis built as a means of control. Come on, let's take you downstairs and get you in front of the people."